now chapter 6 talks about increasing corruption on the earth. Now this is what causes the great flood, of course. It was whenever sin is abounding on the earth and God just gets tired of it and he wipes out everything with a great flood. It says chapter 6, when man began to multiply on the face of the land and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, My Spirit, the Holy Spirit, shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. There you go. That's when God cut off the date. Like I just said, that now the cutoff date is 120 years. People don't live to be almost 1,000 years old no more. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the land, man and animals, and creeping things, and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Turn the page real quick. It says Noah and the flood. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 cubits. Its breadth 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark, and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. For behold, I will bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you. You shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds according to their kind, and of the animals according to their kind, of every creeping thing of their kind, to every sort shall come into you to keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. Noah did this; he did all that God commanded him. Now, of course, when you turn back to the beginning of chapter 6, like I said, before the flood, people would live. Before the flood, of course, people would live almost 1,000 years. It's a long time for someone to live. But then, after the flood, God said man will not live past 120 years just because of the sin. God got so tired of sin in the world. God just got so tired of it. He just destroyed the world by the great flood. And like I said, before the great flood, people lived to be close to 1,000 years old. After the flood, God said the cutoff date will be 120, so no one can live past 120 years no more. But of course, the question is, who were the Nephilim? Now, this story talks about the Nephilim, and this is who the Nephilim were. If you remember, whenever God kicked the angels and even Satan out of heaven whenever they rebelled, the angels and Satan, they all fell to earth, and these fallen angels, the demons, had sex with women, and they bore these great giants that were called the Nephilim. That, of course, walked the earth. These huge giants that walked the earth. And later on, whenever Moses in Exodus, whenever he's leading the Israelites out of Egypt to of course to Israel, Moses even says that compared to these huge giants that are called Nephilim, Moses said that they felt like grasshoppers to them. And these Nephilim, they were huge, the giants that would walk the earth. That's what the Nephilim were. They were from the fallen angels that were out of heaven. These fallen angels, the demons, had sex with women, and they bore these great giants called the Nephilim, and they walked the earth. And they were these huge giants that walked the earth. And of course, whenever Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt to Israel, Moses said that they felt, this is in Exodus, or it's in, no, I believe it's in Deuteronomy. We'll get to that later. Moses said that he felt like a grasshopper to these huge giants that was walking the earth. So I mean, that's pretty awesome, man. And of course, I see all the time over on Steve Quelb's website where he's talking about where they're finding these huge giant skeletons. You know, I believe that's the Nephilim, part of the giants that walk the earth, the Nephilim. Supposedly, they're finding skeletons like that all across the world, giant skeletons, the Nephilim. So that's a good website to go to find out what's truly going on. It's Steve Quelb's website. So yeah, I mean that's very interesting site to go to because it's about the Nephilim and all, but it's very cool about that. Anyway, that was chapter 6 about the corruption on the earth, and of course Noah and the flood. So that's chapter 6, and also about the Nephilim. So chapter 7 will be next, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back.